In July of last year, I picked up this 5-acre parcel of land, and I already have over 100 of trees in the ground. It is spring 2025, and I continue to build my bonsai oasis. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Today, permit marking. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited. This 5-acre parcel of land is going to become my bonsai oasis. I've got some buildings I want to put on here, and I can't wait to start inviting people up here to enjoy this journey with me. This spring, a ton of cleanup throughout the property. Before I can start to make some markings on the property to put on my permit to build this year one of the structures, I've got to tackle some trees first. The rain is on my doorstep. I might have 3 good hours before I start to get wet. So I brought another batch of trees up, and we got to get more of those in the ground first. So right to work. The forecast predicted rain, and the radar indicates that we might have rain between 6 and 6:30 up here at the property. It's about 2:30 as I arrived today, so I got a window here. We got to get to work. All the trees are out of the car and ready to go into either the first fence that I created or possibly up on the trail coming down to the gated area, and maybe even in the area where we put those jack pines a couple weeks ago. Now, because this fence is the most protected from the rabbits and the deer, I'm gonna go ahead and plant the trees here first, because I wanna make sure that we're not gonna lose these trees. The only question now really is which trees are gonna go where. Part of me thinks that these bigger trees would be fine outside the gate because they're so big. Maybe the deer will leave those alone. But this time of year, even after I dug these up from the first bonsai acres, there's nice buds on here. And they're gonna see those buds. I think they'll just wanna go to town. I've decided that the reds and whites take first priority. We'll get these big guys in the ground, and then we'll go from there. Always very curious when I first come up here and what I'm gonna see. What are the trees like? What's happening? Growth patterns? Any chew from any critters that did get in here? And I did notice this tree right over here. Again, is this winter damage? Is this a fungal issue? I'll cut those 2 branches off right there, and we still have plenty of tree that has plenty of active buds. We are in good shape. All the bigger trees, all looking really good. But the first thing that caught my eye when I came up here right away was the leaves right here on the deciduous trees. Yeah, this is one of the weeping willows, and we've got 2 branches branching out already. These are whips, remember, whips, and that has a branch on it. And look right here, everybody. Here's a jack pine that has completely woken up. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have our first whirl of our jack pine right there. And that one is a close second, ready to shoot up some whirls. As I come over here, this is a whirl right down here. Very, very nice. This one has split into 3. That one has split into 3. And look at over here, everybody. That has split into 3. I've got to get the rest of the trees in the ground before it's too late. It's May 1st, and I want to make sure these have a good chance at success, right? Not too hot, not anywhere near June. So today, let's see if we can get another 50 trees in the ground. As the sun tries to peek through a little hole in the clouds, those look a little grayer over there in the west. over yonder, but I still think we have a couple of hours before anything hits us here. So in the first 15, 20 minutes, I was able to put about 11, 12 trees in the ground inside the current Bonsai Acres fenced in area. This is the first fence I put in last summer. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and count all these trees and see where we're sitting right now. Including the tamaracks that are off there on the side, and I don't even know if they're viables right now, we're talking 85 trees in my 24 by 24 cage in here. 85 trees. That's phenomenal. I can't get much more in here. I could force a few things in here, but it's gonna be hard to walk around all these trees and dig things out if I keep putting too many trees in. But they're all looking pretty healthy. I've got a couple of touchy spots. We'll cut those off. And guess what? When this rain over my shoulder comes in the next couple of hours, everything we plant today is gonna be doused with a coat of rain, and I'm probably good for a solid week. And I anticipate coming up on May 9th. More on that later. Now that I got a couple of trees in the ground, I'm already feeling better. Anytime I can see some progress up here, it just relaxes me. Just being up here relaxes me, but that's awesome. So about a dozen more trees in the ground, 86 in that gated area. But hey, let's see if the rabbits or the deer got a hold of the trees in this other new fenced in area. So as I come around the corner, I'm seeing a lot of green. That is such a good sign. And you know why I'm seeing a lot of green? Because these trees are subdividing as well. Even the trees I put in the ground last week. Look at the growth on that tree. It already has a whorl. Look at the whorl on that one. All the trees in here are looking, this one might be toast. That one might be toast, but that's just maybe dying, not because of animal critters. Another one, that could be toast, which is why we order a whole bunch. So remember, I got 100 of these jack pines. If I get 50 to 75 to survive, I am totally okay with that. So before I leave today, this last little stretch in between these fence lines will be another row of 15, 16 trees. And we'll cap it all off right here and on the end. And then we'll have about 60 trees just right in here in our next fenced in area, which will have a big fence going around it later on this spring, summer. I just can't make it fast enough though before I get the trees in the ground. So we'll put 15 or so of those trees there, and then that little section will be kind of capped off. And then after I'm done with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple more trees in the ground along the driveway kind of that goes into that first stretch. Because again, I want Bonsai Acres to be an oasis with a ton of trees in the ground. Whether they ever become a bonsai or not is not completely the ultimate goal. I want a ton of trees. I want to be in the middle of a forest. I want some seclusion, some quiet. I want those pine boughs to be swaying in the wind with a whole bunch of other pine boughs swaying in the wind. So when I'm up here and it's windy, it'll just calm me as well. As a kid, I hated the wind, especially up at the cabin, because that usually meant that the water was really choppy. We couldn't go out and fish, and it was just windy. And we were on the east side of a lake, so those northwest winds just came across the lake, and there were some viciously windy days. Now when the wind blows, well then, I have my pine trees to keep me comfortable and have that swaying sound of a pine bough in the wind. I can't wait. Let's show you the other trees. Along the driveway coming into the trees, the last time I planted these trees right here, and no deer or rabbit has snuck their way in there and chewed all those up. That's good. And the other one to the right of that one is doing well. And look, we've got some other seeds from other trees dangling inside the chain link fence there. Or not chain link, but chicken wire. So those two trees are looking good. They're surviving so far. We're gonna get some rain tonight, so let's plant some more trees. So I'm gonna get a couple of trees in here. But first, I do wanna go plant those jack pines in the ground. I need more of those in the ground for sure. So on a never-ending quest to work smarter, not harder, I thought today, hey, why dig 15 holes when I could just take my pickaxe and force it into the earth and just pop up a little hole? These plugs are so small that that'll be just fine. And sure enough, I was able to do probably 15 trees in at least half of the time it took me last time. All the stakes are in the ground. So all that's left for me to do now is to cap off the ends. I want to make sure that those deer and those rabbits don't at least have easy access, you know, the path of least resistance. I want them to work for it if they're going to go after my trees. So far, so good. The trees have been into the ground for over a month, and no chew. A couple trees perished, but no chew. That's fantastic. And my birthday is coming up, y'all, so if anybody wants to get me a new stapler, I'm down for that. Radar indicates that the rain is coming, but if we look at future radar, it might not be here solid with a good heavy rain until well after 7 o'clock. If you didn't catch the last episode, me talking about this method right here, is this the most safe and secure method for me for these trees? No, I'm doing dirty, quick and cheap this spring with this part of the fence. And then this summer, I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna be building fence 2.0. Now, can they go underneath? They sure can. I can get some wood chunks on here. There's rocks everywhere on the property. And if they really try, plus I do have those tent stakes that a viewer suggested I put in here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some tent stakes, hopefully, if I remember that today. If I have the time and the energy to do that. So there we have our 4 rows of trees. The first 2 rows we put in, last time, this time, all snuggled in with the chicken wire high enough to keep, I mean, again, a deer can come right over here super easy, but hopefully we'll have a fence here and they just won't, we're hoping. Inevitably, a deer or rabbit's gonna choose something. But again, that's why we have volume. A whole bunch of trees, we hope we keep most of them. So if you watch my last vlog, I talked about how the septic system is going to go over on this side towards the pine boughs, between the pine boughs, the pine grove, and this little poplar grove here. And this would be either the bathhouse or potentially the cabin. And the more I think of it, the more I think the bathhouse, shower house should be down there, closer to the action of when I have workshops and people up here, and have my cabin more kind of up the, well, kind of king of the hill in a way. This is like my domain. This is, I can see, I'm up on this hill and I can see all around me. I think it's a fantastic site to have a cabin. I have a lovely view to the west. I can see all the old forest of the bog down there. I can see my little larch bog over there. I can see the shed from here. I think this will be a great spot to put the cabin. So I'm thinking about a long, skinny cabin. And I want just a mini cabin because I want it to be affordable at first, maybe expandable. I think the front corner of the cabin would do good. Possibly right about here. I'm thinking I want it at least 12 feet wide, 12 feet deep. I've thought as much as 16, but oh, I need a nail. I need one of my screws on here. So again, I'm thinking 12 front to back, and I'm thinking 24 east to west. And the reason why I'm gonna have it long that way is because of the desire to have a passive solar system. Kind of like my passive solar greenhouse, I want as much passive energy as possible. And to have true passive energy, you need to have a lot of sun exposure, and that's down there in the south. And so I want to have some windows in the front that can warm up the place. Not too bad. Now at a glance, there's a big bushy bush thing over there, and we cut down some of this stuff right here. We have the big oak section, oak, and then this big cottonwood that's going down. So then I'll have a total view down there to the trees and to the bog. What I was thinking too was if I went 36, I'd have 12, 12, and 12. 12 for a bedroom, 12 for a living room slash kitchenette, and then 12 for a studio. But I don't need 12 feet for a studio. My studio is going to be a place where I can edit, and then maybe another person could have a bed in there, right? So we could have a full bed in there, a couch that goes out into a bed. And so that could be just, 8 feet. So if I go 8, 12, and 12, well, that's 32, only 4 feet less. The septic system would be about here. And I don't remember how far I need to be from, if I have a toilet in here someday, how far it has to be from the septic tank. I don't remember those details. So what I have to do is I have to stake this off today, because my septic designer is going to come out this week sometime, look for these stakes and see if she can figure out where to design the system. And if I have to move the structure, change the size of the structure, I can do that. The leaves are going to just start popping up here in the north part of the Minnesota. And so there's still sun that comes through here to give solar power. So that's kind of nice. But then in the summertime, wide open for sun to get solar and to give me energy into the cabin, because I want this to be as off-grid as possible. And as we come full circle, are we even close to 24 feet on this side? Oh, 25. And are we where we're supposed to be there? Pretty close. "12 by 24. So it's kind of skinny. It's kind of trailer-like. I saw a design on some research on tiny homes, and of course tiny homes are all built on trailers, and they're usually 8 to 10 feet wide, not 12. So not being on a trailer, I can go to 12 and have a lot of extra room. And they have some pretty spacious facilities, homes on trailers at 8 and 10 feet. So 12 feet I think is a good distance. And then 24 I think is plenty of room. So again, I probably would have a bedroom back off in a corner. And so you have to imagine, you know, a queen size bed would be lovely. And that's 6 feet right here. And so 8, 9, you know, so maybe 10 by 12 for a little bedroom. And then that room can be 8 by 12. That only gives me 6 feet in the middle. That's not big enough. I'd put a bathroom on the back end someday or over there. Probably should have the kitchen area over here for water to drain real close to all the septic system. That would be nice and convenient. 12 to 16 feet kitchen, living room. And then I'd have one bedroom back there. That'd be my bedroom slash studio. I could always have a table out here working on editing videos and that sort of thing. Windows, windows, windows. What was nice about these trailer designs is even though it's only 12 feet deep, they would have a 8-foot deck out front on the whole length of the house, or the little tiny trailer mini home. So if I go 8 more feet out there, I'm gonna have to cut off a few of these bushy type trees right there, but plenty of distance away from the big monster oak trees. So I'm gonna leave the stakes here. She can take a peek at these. She can consider the septic design, the mound system back there, and we shall see. This is so exciting, isn't it? So the new consideration is to put the small cabin up there, but right here can be the bathhouse, snuggled into all these trees. The problem with the snuggling in between the trees is the solar access, because I want to have solar power, but I still think this is a possibility. If it's not right here, I can go down just another scotch down there, but let's just see if I even have enough room for what I'm contemplating as a 16 by 16 structure. 16 by 16. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be bigger than this, but yeah, 16 by 16 is only 4 feet bigger than what I was doing. And 8 inches, keep going inches, 8 feet shorter on the one length. So this would be the bathhouse. I anticipated that being the front. You'd walk in, showers in this back corner, bathrooms in that back corner. And then up in the front's just a little area to change and just kind of walk in and not be out in the elements in case it rains. Now, I don't need to make it 16 by 16. I just was thinking that would be a starting point. This could actually be the main entryway, and I could have a roof this way. I was thinking it was going to be the other way, but if I have it this way, then the solar panels go right there on the roof, and then this just, you walk right into the facility. But I was also thinking of having a 4-foot deck, maybe, walkway with an awning in front so you can get out of the weather elements again, get into your shower area and go that way. So there'd be an exposed deck out here or out there, and there's room on that side if I get rid of 2 small trees. This would be a nice little nestled cabin in here though too. And then I really have a good view of all of that, just not back over there as much. See, now I'm already doubting myself. Like, which way should I go? Bathhouse, bathhouse, cabin, cabin. I think I want to keep the bathhouse here. Because when people are working on trees over there, again, I don't want them to traipse too far to the bathroom. So I have these staked out for the septic person. She's gonna come out this week. She'll take a look at this and design the septic in and around these 2 structures. And then down over there where the pump is, the pump now from here is about 100 feet that way. I'm gonna measure it out right now with my new measuring tape. That's 100 feet. I'm gonna see if it's 100 feet. So that's 100 feet of hose and stuff to go from there to here, if that's even gonna be viable. If I have to put a new pump in the ground, new well, I could put a well maybe over on that side of the property if I do that some year. But that is a minimum 3 to 5 years out. I'm gonna try to make sure that thing lasts for 2 to 3 years, and I've got some updates on that coming up very soon as well. I gotta take a break from this now and go plant some more trees before the rain comes. I think I've got it staked out. It's a possibility. We'll take a couple pictures and we'll see what she thinks, the designer that is. It's just after 6 o'clock and the rain has started to fall, and I started to do a little cleanup. We did some good work today. We got 4 more trees over here, 2 more trees over here. Didn't get a fence around them. We got a tree right there at the front of the gate section, and a tree right there in front of the gate section. And we come inside here, and there's some of the trees I didn't get to today, but with this rain we're getting tonight, they'll be rained on and wet and ready for planting a week from today. So we have 80 plus trees in there. We have a row of trees, and we have the original fence with trees. We're gonna close up shop. We're gonna hit the road in just a moment. Not sure if it's the best spot, but there's a lot of open air here. I got 2 maples in between those birch logs right there. So 2 maples went in the ground. I had to get some in the ground. 1, 2, 3. 3 more maples in the ground. Got this opening right up here. This is just west of where I staked off the cabin early on. And as you walk over this way, this is where the fence is. I got another 50 trees in the ground today. With 1 person here doing the work, I think 50 is pretty reasonable. Right there is the latest with the fence on the backside, fence right here. We've got 60 trees right in here. And we got the cabin staked out. So up here at the top of the hill, the king of the hill here, looking all the way around into the west where the rain is coming, south and east, the cabin will probably lay right around in here with the septic system kind of back over there. And then just down from the cabin, as you look just right over my shoulder here, then we have the 16 by 16 mapped out for the possible shower house. Cabin, shower house, greenhouse possibly, the trees, and a workstation down there. It's coming together. As the temps hit about 52 degrees and a little bit of rain, I don't think I have enough energy to get wet and slop around anymore. So the trees will not be completely fenced today, but let's hope the deer leave them alone. There's more green stuff coming up because it's spring, and maybe they're just fine. And if I lose a couple more trees, well, we got a few more in the gate to put in the ground. And I'm just running out of energy. One last set of trees to show you, everybody. Now the marshy part is over there on the other side of the shed, and the great big in the ground bonsai red pine right there. There's the pump house and everything. I was gonna put some weeping willows in there, but it's so messy in there right now that I really should clean more before I plant something. So I put 3 of them right there in a cluster, kind of like a triple trunk, hoping that 1 survives. If all 3 survives, fantastic. You know, grow up here, kind of edge of the property. And some of these trees are aging and dying. Hopefully those take over. So we got a little protection fence around that, because those things Oh my gosh, willow trees, oh, the bunnies and the anything love those supple branches. So let's hope that they'll survive. As always, this has been super fun, relaxing, although I'm working my butt off. But I just love being up here, as always. No change there. The rain's coming. I got some food in the car. Let's hit the road. This has been a blast. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited.